Today in this video we are going to talk about procure to pay, a complete procurement life cycle. In order to have a clear-cut picture, I have created a virtual plant named Indian Manufacturing Unit. So 10th of May 2020, Indian Manufacturing Unit issues a procurement order to its goods supplier, or I can say raw material supplier, for supply of raw material with a lead time of 20 days. On 15th of May 2020, the supplier has supplied the goods to Indian Manufacturing Unit, and the same day he has provided supply invoice or bill to Indian Manufacturing Unit. Within 5 days after the receipt of the material and confirmation of the quality check of the received material, Indian Manufacturing Unit have issued the payment to the supplier. So there are total 4 stages what we have seen in these graphs. First stage called procurement order, purchase order. Second stage called goods received, where good is being received by the plant. Third stage is called invoice received, where plant have received the invoice from supplier. And fourth stage is called payment, where Indian Manufacturing Unit have issued the payment to the supplier. So let's have a look at the documentation part during this process. Firstly, the purchase requisition document, which is issued by the plant to the procurement team, so-called material management team. The material management team furthermore issues the request for quotation, and final evaluation document is prepared based on technical and commercial evaluation. Then purchase order is issued to the vendor, and that document is further an important entity. Then goods received document and its quality inspection document, and then invoice document and payment document. So all these documents related to single order needs to be kept. Now, if organization is operating on a large scale, there are multiple procurements. You just imagine, so there will be bunch of documents will be prepared every day. How we can store them all? Will it be easy to maintain them? No. So here comes a centralized software to maintain this called SAP. Other than this documentation part, there are some more add-ons what we are getting from the SAP. Now we are going to discuss one positive aspect of SAP, and that is auditing stock. How much we have ordered last month, how much we received last month, what is the balance stock, what is condition of stock, where it is located, where it is consumed. And like this, there are so many questions which a warehouse operation is going to have in their mind. It will be hectic for a warehouse manager to maintain answers for all these questions. But it is very easy to obtain all this data in SAP. Now we are going to discuss another benefit, that is accounting. How much we paid for the delivered goods, how much is pending payment, what is cost of inventory in stock, what is the operational cost of raw material of plant. And similarly, there are so many questions which will be helping accounting team to accumulate the data for profit and loss statement. And SAP is the best option to get all this data in a systematical way. Now we are going to discuss one more benefit of using SAP. Now again we are going to discuss a broad level operation of a plant, where they have a central warehouse. Once material is delivered to the central warehouse may not be capable enough to sustain all this material in their system. Then they may distribute it to different warehouse locations, like warehouse A, warehouse B, warehouse C. And please note, individual warehouse will also be having rack numbers, locations numbers, where individual spares or raw material may be kept as storage. Now assume someday plant sent a requirement to the warehouse that this material is in stock and we have a requirement of the same. Warehouse will be having so many materials in their ledger. Ideally, a MNC warehouse is having more than 1000 spares in their storage. Will it be easy to identify them? No. Then here comes the SAP. SAP will have the exact storage location of individual inventory with its detailed quantity available in the system. So once you try and check the storage in the SAP, it will give you the brief idea how much quantity is available, where it is stored. And this is the best way to maintain a system. And now we are going to have a practical demonstration of PO processing in SAP. We have already discussed about SAP Easy Access and SAP menu. So now in order to create purchase order and the processing related to purchase order, so we are going to select a path. Firstly, SAP menu, then logistics, then material management, then purchasing, then purchase order, and then create. So in create, we are having number of transactions to create the PO. As we have discussed earlier, that before issuing purchase orders, there is a process called technical and commercial evaluation to evaluate a vendor who is the successful bidder for any of the requirement. So once vendor is finalized and we want to issue a PO to that vendor, we are going to use T code ME21N. So we are seeing a display screen which usually comes up in front of us when we are using ME21N for the first time. So once we execute the ME21N, our first job is to select the type of PO we want to process. So there are many kinds of purchase orders configured into the SAP system, like standard purchase order, limit purchase order, consignment purchase order, stock transfer purchase order, service purchase order, etc. For this exercise, we are going to work on the standard purchase order. Now the first step is selection of the standard purchase order tab. And in usual practice, once you open the ME21N, this type of purchase order will be a default selection. Now our job is to select the vendor. Now you want to select the vendor, we will go to vendor selection tab. Please note, in SAP system, each vendor is having its own unique code defined in the system. So in this tab, we usually type the code of vendor and system will capture the details of the vendor. But what if you don't know the code of the vendor? We have one option to get that. Just click on the vendor selection tab, and once you click over there, there is a search pop-up with multiple boxes come up in front of us. We have to click on that pop-up, and that will lead us to vendor search console. There are different conditions which is being offered us to identify our vendor. So in our case, I am using the city tab. So I am putting the name of city as Chicago and hitting enter. So here I got a list of vendors which belongs to the Chicago city. And as you are all aware that before processing of any PO, a purchase executive have already made up his exercise that who is the shortlisted vendor for this PO. So in our case, it is ABC Supply Company. And here you can see in the list, Chicago ABC Supply Company and its vendor code is 1222. So I am double clicking on 1222. And here we have our 1222 appears in our vendor selection tab. Now next step, you have to execute this vendor code for our PO. How to do that? You have two options to do the same. Either hit enter or click on green execute button. In both of the way, SAP's Windows will execute the changes made by you into its portal and accept the entries. So here SAP has captured 1222 ABC Supply Company as a vendor for our SAP Windows, for our purchase order window. Now you can see at the bottom there is an error showing enter purchasing organization. Guys, please note, once you start to process any purchasing order or purchasing requisition, if anything comes up which is really necessary to process that PR or PO and that mandatory entry is left blank, then SAP will definitely show you that error and will not allow you to go further until that error is rectified. So in my case, it is showing enter purchasing organization. Like in my case, 3000 is purchase organization, purchasing group is 005 and company code is again 3000. So in my case, purchasing organization and company code are same because I only have one unit. Means I have only one company, XYZ Industries Limited, which produces only Parle-G. I don't have any other units. In that case, the both codes can be the same, or else it will not. Now once you have entered the organization data, so next thing you can enter delivery and invoice details, conditions, text and address. So we are just going to have introduction of all these, starting with the delivery / invoices. Please note, at the time of creation of the vendor, there have been a meeting with the vendors or suppliers, and they usually specify their payment terms. And a mutual agreement is being established between a company and the vendor. So these payment terms are predefined terms in respect of the vendors. But sometimes it happens then for a unique procurement, for an individual procurement order, the payment terms needs to be changed, and that is already communicated at the time of technical and vendor evaluation to the vendors or to the suppliers. So at the time of creation of this purchase order, we can define the payment terms as per our needful changes, or we can keep as it is as per standard terms. All depends that at what framework you have mapped this PO. So in short, we can conclude that here we can define the payment terms, and I have defined NT 30, in which says that payment has to be done within 30 days post delivery of the goods at company premises. Now in Incoterms. Incoterms stands for the internationally accepted terms which are already predefined. You can Google about that and learn, but for now we have selected free on board. And now I'm going toward the currency part. Since my SAP system belongs to the USA, so every configuration is done in the US itself. So default currency is USD, but in our Indian case, if we are issuing PO to our Indian suppliers, the currency should be INR. Next is the text part. So text part, you can mention any history related to this PO, like why we are going to issue this PO, what is the behind the scenes story of this PO. You can mention everything in detail over here. And third part is address. Address part is basically a detailed mailing address or warehouse address of the supplier. So once you have filled all these details, next part which comes up is item overview. In item overview, we are going to list down all items which we want this vendor to supply. Similarly to the vendor data, when we have selected the vendor code and inserted that into the vendor column, we have to make a selection for the material code also, because each individual material in the SAP system is assigned a unique material code. And if you don't know the same, again you can go and take help of Search Console. So I clicked on the material tab. So I have search help pop up in front of me. I just clicked on that, and here I have search support console. So it has many tabs by which you can search for the material, like material searching by material number or description, material search by old material number, or by bill of material, or anything which you have with you, you can put as a reference and you can get the material code. So in our case, we are just putting the material description. So I'm taking an example where a newcomer just creating a PO. He wants to create a PO for the floor, but he don't know exact complete wording details of that floor. What he can do? So he can type the floor in the description and put the star at the front and the back. Star is acting as an unknown identifier for the SAP. So once you put the star in front, it says the SAP that we don't know what is in initial of the floor, and star at the end of the floor says the SAP that we also don't know words is following this floor for the material code. So now once you execute, all varieties of floor which is configured into the systems are in front of us. So you can make a selection based on our requirement. So we have selected floor BP401. BP401 is the material code. Please note, material code can either be numerical or alphanumerical. That all depends on the configuration team, that how they have configured the same into your system at the time of SAP implementation. So once I have entered the material code, you can see at the bottom SAP is asking me to put the detail of the plant. The plant here, it means the code of the plant for which I am procuring this material. So in my case, the plant number is already defined. Our plant code is 3100. That is Chicago plant. Now you can see at the bottom another error comes up. Net price must be greater than 0. You can check the condition tab in the item detail section, which is showing a red error. And here we have to insert the gross price. Please note, the price details you can insert as per your technical and commercial evaluations findings, which was basically once you have received the quotation from the supplier and you have approved it after your final negotiation rounds, you have come up to a conclusion that this is the final price, then you can put up that price over here. And once you put the price, it is again giving us a new error, enter a quantity, that how many pieces do you need. So I have entered the quantity of 100. Please note, you can see the unit of measurement. In our case, it is 100 kg. Unit of measurement is further automatically configured at the time of creation of the material code. So in our case, since we have selected the material code of floor is being supplied in form of kg. So the SAP system have automatically taken the unit of measure with the selection of the material code. So now you can see once you hit the enter, SAP system is not showing any single error at the error tab. But furthermore, there is an option to enter more details like storage location, batch number. If you have available with you, you can enter it. So one more important thing which I will tell you all to just please confirm, that is delivery address. If you have a standalone plant or one or two plants which is having a common warehouse, then that is not a concern, because once you put the entry of the plant code, it will automatically capture the delivery address. But in case if you are having multiple warehouses for taking care for the same plant and you want that material to be delivered to a particular warehouse, then you need to enter the correct delivery address in this delivery address tab. But anyways, in this case, it's not so important. We have considered only a single unit plant, so which is definitely having a single warehouse. So for now, we are going to save this PO by clicking on the save button. So there is a floppy shape button at the top of this dashboard, which is used to save this PO. So we have made all required entry of this PO, and now next step is to save. And here we have a PO number. In this, you can see in the bottom notification tab, standard PO created under the number 4500017175. So we have got a PO number. Now if you have created a PO and then you come to know that, oh, I want to make some changes in that PO, how to do that? In order to make some changes to the PO, you can again go to the SAP menu, and just below of the create menu there is a change T code. Select that T code. So this change menu is showing us the last working PO in default screen. But if you want to change some other PO, you can click at the top pop-up. I'm just showing you now. Click on this, put the number, hit enter, that other PO will come in front of you. If you want to see the print preview of the PO, you can click on the print preview and you will have a look at the document version of this PO. Guys, I have made this video in an IDEA system which doesn't have any pre-configured release strategies. The practical sense, there will be a release strategy. So I'm going to tell you about all this release strategy in our upcoming video by manually configuring that to my IDEA system. For now, I'm just giving you a draft idea how PO is created, how it is released, and how it is transmitted. So we are going further in this our video session. Now, once you have created the PO and got it released from all the levels of our organization, we have two options: either to print that document or electronically transmit that document to the vendor. So in order to do that, we will go to the messages tab of the SAP menu and we select ME9F print/transmit T code. Here the message output pop-up screen has come up. You have to put our document number, which is nothing but the PO number, In this case, execute button is a clock tick. Just execute, just click on that. There is a short code that is F8. You can press that also in order to execute the same. And here we have our PO. Now what you have to do is to select the PO and click on the output message, which is send a system generated email to the vendor with the document copy of this PO. But based on my experience in 4 to 5 industries I have worked in my career, the standard practice what Indian industries used to follow is to take a print of these documents, get a signature approval from our procurement head or whoever is the concerned approving authority, put a stamp on it, and then scan and send to the vendor. This is the standard practice what Indian industry is following. But since the release strategy is already configured into the SAP, ideal system says you can electronically transmit that data to the vendor directly and process the PO. So in this way, we have learned how to create or execute a purchase order in the SAP system. So in next video, we are going to understand goods inverse process, starting with goods received in SAP, quality inspection, its stock entry, and some related queries.